All right, well, now it is time to look back at the 2016 U.S. Open on the women's side. Really, a coronation for one player and a breakthrough for another as Angelique Kerber fought her way to a three-set victory over Karolina Pliskova in the final yesterday. A truly great match between two tremendous players who were on top of their game. Just so many great heavy hitting rallies back and forth the whole way through. What really made the difference, though, in my eyes, was fitness. Angelique Kerber is in unbelievable shape. The work she has put in to be in tip top shape has been immense. It has been tremendous, and it has paid huge dividends because she had already clinched the world number one ranking heading into this final after Serena had lost her semifinal match to Pliskova. But this was kind of like that affirmation, like I said, that coronation that Angelique Kerber is the number one player in the world. And so she got it done against a heavy hitting Pliskova. She, like I said, she was on top of her game, played absolutely incredible tennis against Serena. She was practically treeing, but she changed her game plan against Kerber in the final. She came into the net a lot and found a lot of success attacking the net against Kerber. But again, Kerber has just become such a great player, not only defensively. She was known as a great defender early on in her career, but the lefty has added so much pace to her ground strokes. And, that's a huge reason why she is the number one player in the world now. She has certainly earned it, and it is going to go down as the best year of her career without question after beating Serena Williams in the Australian Open final. Yes, she had that shocking first round defeat at Roland Garros, but she came back, fell to Serena after making the finals at Wimbledon. So, you really thought heading into the semis that it was going to be three major finals in 1 year between Serena and Kerber, but it was not to be. So Kerber went up against Pliskova and earned her second major trophy of the year. Like I said, this number one ranking is very well deserved for Kerber. She is debuting at number one at the age of 28, which makes her the oldest player to make her first entry at number one by a 3-year margin. So it goes to show how she is really getting better with age. She's hit her peak at this point in her career, and it is truly a great thing to see. And, Pliskova has such a bright future of her own. She is such a heavy hitter. Her service returns against Serena, I thought, were truly remarkable going back to that Serena match. I mean, anytime you can beat both Williams sisters in one tournament, that is a tournament to remember. But it was her first major final. And as Chris Everett pointed out yesterday, it is incredibly difficult to go out and win when it is your first major final. But she is only, 24 years old, has some great tennis ahead of her. At 6'1", is a heavy hitter. Might want to work a little bit on the fitness, but again, she had a very, very busy summer. That's really nothing against her. It's more just praise for the fact that Kerber has maintained unbelievable shape. So while it was certainly the coronation for Kerber, it's a tournament of what could have been for some other players, of course. Caroline Wozniacki, former world number one, had come into this tournament unseeded. It had been a really truly disappointing 2016 for her up to this point. Wozniacki, her first round win at this major was, it was a good starting point for her because she had not made it past the first round of any major this year. She lost in the first round in Australia, did not play Roland Garros, and lost in the first round at Wimbledon. So for her to, go out and make the semifinals was fantastic. But, Kerber is at a point in her career where she holds a huge mental edge over great players like Wozniacki. But, I think Kerber is just inside of other players' heads at this point because of how well she's performing. So, Angelique Kerber really didn't have too many issues dismantling Wozniacki. And, earlier in the tournament in the first week, I thought, based on the way she was playing, Madison Keys could have had her breakthrough. Maybe she would reach her first major final with the way she was playing some phenomenal tennis, but just it seemed kind of listless. I don't really know what went wrong for her against Wozniacki, but she just kind of just got dismantled by Caro. So credit to Wozniacki for coming up against a heavier hitter in Madison Keys and handling that challenge very, very well. But for Keys, she's a player who has done a much better job of handling the pressure points. She faces a lot of tight situations with her game. Plays with a low margin of error at times. Loves to hit heavy and hit flat, which is beautiful. And I do think it is only a matter of time before she wins her first major final. Going back to the quarterfinals, one of the best matches, or probably the best match, really. The only one that went 3 sets was Serena versus Simona Halep. Halep is not the biggest player, to put it nicely. She is kind of diminutive in stature, but she just battled so fiercely. Serena just destroyed her 6-2 in the first set, but Halep did not give up. She remained resilient and persistent, won the second set, and the 5'6" Romanian, just battled the whole way through. But ultimately, Serena's physicality, her heavy hitting, proved to be too much to handle. And you look at players who are up there. I think Simona Halep at this point might hold the semi-dubious distinction of being the best women's tennis player in the world yet to win a major. So, looking back at the draw, before beating Kerber, or before beating Wozniacki, Kerber, took out Roberta Vinci in straight sets. Last year's U.S. Open finalist, she beat her 7-5, 6-0. And, at that point, you knew that she was a wrecking ball coming in to make serious, serious damage. Talking back on the whole theme of breakthroughs, another breakthrough player was Sevastova, the Latvian, who reached the quarterfinals for the first time in her career, came in as an unseeded player. Her previous best result was reaching the 4th round of the 2011 Australian Open. Besides that, had not even made it past the second round of any other major. So to see her do that was a beautiful thing to do. She's had her own issues in her career, but it's for Sevastova, it's going to be very interesting to see how she can parlay this breakthrough performance of her moving forward, because it was very difficult for her to suffer that 2-0 loss to Wozniacki. She kind of got really dismantled in that match. Aga Radwanska, one of my favorite players in the women's game, she suffered a 6-4, 6-4 loss in the quarters against Anna Konju. She's a very young player, only 19 years of age, born in 1997. This is her breakthrough moment. She's been playing slams only since 2014. Her previous best showing was in 2014, reaching the 3rd round of Wimbledon. So Anna Konju, hope I pronounced her name correctly, is another player to watch out for, especially after taking down Radwanska in straights the way she did. So overall, a great year for women's tennis. 2 slams for Kerber, 1 for Garbiñe Muguruza, who was very happy to see her get her breakthrough, even though it was not a great U.S. Open for her by any means. But seeing Muguruza, Kerber getting 2, and Serena getting 1, it shows that Serena's dominance at the women's, on top of the women's game, it might be over. Kerber is the rightful #1 player in the world, and I look forward to seeing how she handles that crown.